Welcome everyone to this special holiday edition of Wake Up Legendary. Happy Monday. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here. We are a little bit late. We've had some audio, computer issues from a variety of people and whatnot. But here we are. We made it, and I am so excited for you to meet our guest today. Before we dive into that, if you are brand new and looking to get notifications for when we go live every morning, be sure to text WUL, the letters WUL, to 813-296-8553. You'll get a quick text reminder from us. Hey, we're going live, for you to hop on with the link. So if you haven't done that, be sure to do that. I am so excited for you to meet our guest this morning. Her name is Andrea. I think I remember I got it right. Nope, it's Andrea. So Andrea, welcome to Wake Up Legendary this morning.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right. So both of us are on the West Coast, so it's a little bit early morning for us with households of sleeping family members and whatnot. But share with all of us a little bit about you, your backstory, how you found Legendary to begin with.
Okay. So my name is Andrea. Actually, to be honest, I go by Andrea and Andrea completely interchanged. So either way, it doesn't matter to me, but I am a wife and a mama. I have two kids. One is 15 and then my youngest is 7. And we live up in Washington State, Central Washington. And honestly, I feel like I just recently found it because I really truly did with Legendary. I was a Beachbody coach for 6 years, and I was successful enough to be home with my kids when my second child was born. After a year, I was like, you know what? I just want to be home. I'm tired of the pull on the heartstrings of wanting to be home with the kids, but I genuinely love making money and I love working. And so being home full time and not having an income was never an option for me because I also love experiences in life. And I've always wanted to give those to my children as well. We love traveling and seeing different things. And so I knew that if I came home and didn't have an income, there would be more restriction and I didn't love the idea of that. So I started coaching, did that for 6 years. And just last October, I feel like it was kind of this perfect storm of events in my life where it was just, my heart wasn't happy anymore. I wasn't loving it. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I felt like I was more having to show up because I had to, and I built this business, but I had other things going on in my personal life that was just pulling me in too many different ways. And I felt this need to kind of pivot and just redirect on how I could still be home with my kids. But I also had that pull of, if I'm not making money, how do I do both, right? I needed something and wanted something truly where I could still be home and be available to my kids 24/7 for the drop-offs and the pickups and the field trips and all the things. Mm-hmm. But I, like I said, love making money. And so I needed something. Long story short, my sister kept sending me TikTok videos. I have never been on TikTok. I don't know why. I was so focused on Instagram. And so I was like, okay. So just the end of last October, I finally got a TikTok account. And it was like, such a bright light in my life at that point because it was funny, like stupid funny stuff. And I felt like other social media platforms haven't been that way in a while. And so it was funny and it was fun. And I was loving what the algorithm was feeding me. And so then the algorithm gets you. And then one day somebody's talking about making money. And I was like, all right. I think it's almost what everybody kind of initially thinks. Like, is this too good to be true? Is this real? Is this person for real? And so then that same person kind of kept popping back up in my feed. And then at the end of November, literally it was the week of Thanksgiving, I started with the challenge. And then kind of the rest is history since then.
There we are.
Here we are.
Just going back briefly, there was something you mentioned on the questionnaire that stood out for me.
Yeah.
When you were talking about your previous, because it was an MLM, correct?
Yes.
Where your money was dependent on other people making money, like you weren't solely responsible for that.
Right.
That, and can you talk a little bit more about that piece? Just
of course.
mindset through that and what that meant.
Yeah, of course. I am naturally a worker. I like making money. I like going after things that I really want, and I always find a way to make it happen. So being tied to the way the payment, like the compensation plan worked with that company, you would get paid for your efforts, but then you always had these incentives for bonuses and stuff for what your team did as well. And while I had a team, I never found a workhorse like me. I never found the other Andreas in the
Right.
world to be Beachbody coaches as well. And so it was kind of frustrating after so many years of doing it. And I just felt like I was dragging everybody to, work their business and push them towards their goals. Not only because I did want them to reach their goals because extra money to any family, I don't care how much money you have, is extra money and it's more fun and it makes it
Right.
a little bit easier to breathe. And so I wanted to help as many moms as possible to breathe a little bit more when it came to their finances. But knowing that I was also kind of pushing them to push their goals and work for their goals to help my paycheck, it just got to be I felt like I was burning friendships with it, to be honest. Like I loved these women. They were some of my best friends and they're still some of my really good friends. But having, my income, it was like I could do so much on my own, but then it was almost like the real money, the big money, the fun money, the play money, the generational wealth money was tied to growing this team. And because I hadn't found the other Andreas, I had reached a standpoint where I could only do so much for myself, especially without having to take more time away from my kids, take more time away from my family by, and I felt like I would always hear that go talk to more people, go send more invites. And it was just after 6 years, I was burnt out and I didn't want to. So
Now this is letting you just be you. You don't have to
yes,
worry about your friends. You don't have to worry
yes.
about burning friendships, right?
No. And I think, to be honest, that is one of my favorite points is that for me, this has felt more freeing. And I feel like this has felt more where I can just show up and focus on what I'm doing. And I've seen results from my work. And obviously, income disclaimer, I'm not going to
Right.
disclose an amount. However, what I was able to accomplish in my first 5 weeks with Legendary, it took me a year and a half to build with my
Wow.
previous. And so for me, I was like, the smallest goal of even that first mission, I was like, oh, like that was enough for me to be like, this works. Let's go, let's run, and let's see
Right.
how far we really can go with this.
Right. Obviously, these results aren't typical.
Yes.
We got to make sure to say that.
Yes, not
This is
typical.
just your story. But that's huge.
Yeah.
That's if also you just got that fire back.
Yes. And I feel like it's been twofold because I feel like I got that fire back and I'm like, I really can help my family again. And then two, I feel like I haven't, how do I word this nicely? Or not nicely, but how do I word this? When I was introduced into Beachbody, I was one of those random coaches where I didn't really have an upline. I was kind of placed in the middle of randomly somebody that I really didn't know. And so
Okay.
everything I had to do was on my own. And I kind of had to build my team and build the network for me and my community. Being introduced to this community where it's like I can go in and ask questions and it's like you get so much positive feedback and so much response has been such a blessing in my life because I am that person where I do need the hand holding. I'm the visual person that needs the literally click here, do this step, do that because and it's just been amazing because I feel like I got my fire back, but it's been so much more simpler in the process and I've gotten so much support as well. So I love that part too.
Yeah. And I think people overlook the support that it's huge. You just have to
Huge.
go and ask for it. That's it. We're
Yeah.
not going to see like search you out,
No.
and force you to ask questions, but when you do, it's there. The community
Yeah.
is there. You just got to take advantage of it.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we went through the challenge.
Yep.
What was your next step? How did you then decide, all right, I'm going on TikTok, I'm doing this, and
So
gonna
I
take
went through the 15-day challenge and then it came to the week of Christmas and it was time to buy the blueprints. And I was like, oh, I I don't know. Let's all be honest. Like right before Christmas time, that's not the most ideal time to be investing in anything. I will hold on. Let me circle back to that.
Okay.
However, in the 6 years with Beachbody, I have learned and I have spent thousands of dollars on trainings and courses and all these things to help, me with my success in that business. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this by myself. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to figure it out. And if I was going to be able to figure it out, it was going to take me way longer than expected.
Right.
So I just said, you know what? I'm going to do this. And then we're going to go from there. So the week of Christmas, I purchased the blueprints and then I did nothing. Nothing.
Classic story.
I know. I started started taking the training and then I got overwhelmed by, I will be honest, I was so overwhelmed with how much information was in there. It was nothing like I was expecting. The value that I got was incredible. And like I've said, I have spent thousands on courses. So the fact that not only do you get access to all this amazing training, the access to the people and the community. And, I have reached out to my business plan advisor a bajillion times for help along the way. So I was like, overwhelmed where I was like, I have to step back and figure this out. Like I need to take my time on it. So I didn't do anything for pretty much all of January. I did start a TikTok account and then posted like one, maybe 2 times in January, 1 time in February or 2 times in February, and then February 28th. So almost a full 2 months later was like, okay,
wow.
I got things set up and I've posted like consistently from that point on. I do want to say too, because I feel like this is really important for people who are new. I did not have everything figured out. I just started posting. I didn't have a bajillion followers. Like I said, my account was baby brand new. So I had 0 followers. Okay. And I felt like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust the process. My funnel probably isn't perfect right now, but I need to get myself out there. And since I can't even put my link up until 1,000 followers anyway, I'm just going to figure it out on the way to 1,000.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then take action, right?
Because I just felt like I had to trust the process. And I have seen so many people in the Facebook page, in the community, and even on TikTok talking about their success. Well, the success that I feel like we sometimes see that we want, we have to remind ourselves that they didn't get that overnight. They didn't wake up with anything handed to them, anything different than what we are being handed. They got the exact same blueprints. They got the exact same TikTok starting at 0 followers. So I had to keep reminding myself, like, everybody starts from the ground 0. So,
every single person has a day one.
Yes, 100%.
Every single one of us has a day one. And it's this weird myth that sometimes this lie they tell themselves that everyone that's successful didn't have a day one. They were it was all magic, right?
It's like we see them at chapter 73 and we're sitting at chapter 2 and we're like, well, wait, they're here. How do I get there? And, we're comparing to apples to oranges. Like everybody starts at day 1 and we have to start from scratch. So, yeah.
Right. Definitely. Okay. So there was something else and we actually put it in the title. Oh. Your one strategy. I know that you did that really kicked off your account. Once you decided to go all in and you did this one strategy that got you a ton of followers, 15,000 followers in 4 weeks. So I want you to spill the tea and share with all of us what that was and what you did.
Yeah. So I had seen somewhere on TikTok, I feel like we all get popped in these little like creators where they give you tips on how to grow your account. Well, I take some of them seriously. And I heard one where it was like, if I were starting my TikTok channel from scratch, which I was, I would start with a series. And I was like, a series? And I'll be honest, at first I was like, I have nothing to teach. I don't know what to show people. I'm brand new to this. How can I show somebody to be, make $10,000 a month when I haven't even done it myself, or I haven't even finished all of the blueprint training yet. So I came across a video that I'd seen saying start with a series. And then I was like, wait a second, like what if I showed people ways to make income from home, not with affiliate alone, just other ways as well, or affiliating with Legendary, like other ways to do it as well, and start from there. So I just started with one video and I put how you can put like a title on your video. I put extra income from home part 1. Simple as that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it showed like a couple of different ways that you could make income. And then I would, do a couple more videos. And then the next one would be part 2. And then I think it was part 5. It was the simplest video I feel like I've ever made because I wasn't talking. I was pointing to something. I wasn't even pointing. I was counting to 10. That was it. Like with my fingers, like a 5-year-old would. And it was extra income from home point part 5. And that one took off and it went viral and it got over 1 million views. And there's
Wow.
like 800 and some comments on it. And I went from, literally from almost 0. It was like less than 100 to it was over 15,000 in the first 4 weeks. So in March alone, I gained that many.
Wow. Well, and then so you have the one video that goes off and they
Yeah.
see that it's a part 5. So they go back to your profile and they go, what are the first 4 parts? They
Yeah.
want to see that. Now you're gaining those views and that traction.
Yeah. And I created a playlist with it too, which TikTok is new to me. I feel like I guess I have a little bit of experience just with Instagram, but they're still very different and the functions are in different places. And so you still have to learn how to figure it all. And so for me, it was, oh, there's a playlist. So what is that? And so I clicked on it and I was like, oh, well, I can put all these, this series in a playlist. And so I kind of compiled them there. And I just did part 6 this weekend. So yeah.
Wow. Very cool. So we're at like the early stages. Someone brand new bought the blueprints, sat on them, did nothing for 2 months, then
Yep.
decided to take action. And now you're just all in. You
All
are
in.
all on the way up. You're right in the middle of the thick of it. You had that kind of valley of despair a little bit, figured out, something that's just clicking for you. It just requires you to keep taking action. So I have to ask, because you shared you're a mom, busy schedules, kids, all of that. What does your day look like? How are you fitting in learning, posting,
Yeah.
content, all of that planning into your schedule, into your life? How does that work for you and your family?
Yeah, I every day is absolutely different in my house. About the one consistent thing is what time school starts and what time school ends. That's it. My
Right.
son is 7 and he plays baseball and soccer right now. My daughter is a competitive dancer and she's not at the driving age yet, so I'm also a carpool mom and a chauffeur. So there's a lot. I spend a lot of time in the car. I typically will do, as soon as I do drop off, depending on the schedule for that day, I will try to get my work done right after I drop them off if I have something that I can't get to right away. There are a lot of times where I'm sitting in the dance parking lot waiting for my daughter to get done dancing, and I'll check in and do some things from there. I'll watch it from the car. I will, you know, we went out of town this weekend. My husband drove, so I had, my phone out and I was doing a little bit then. I had my laptop when we were in the hotel room doing a little bit. And I know that sounds like, well, you're working while you're traveling. And I don't feel like this is work, because I feel like work is when you're tied to a 9 to 5. Like that is work to me. Like that sounds exhausting and not fun. And so, being able to squeeze in little pockets of 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there, it may not always be an hour and 2 hours or 3 hours in the morning during the day. Sometimes it's when they go to bed, because we don't get home from, baseball until 7:30, 7:45. And then I still have the mom life of getting them fed and then getting them into bed and making sure everything's ready for the next day of school. So typical day is not typical and not the same, but I figure it out, and I made myself a little checklist of things that I want to get done every single day, whether it's a training. Obviously, I had a call with Cy. It was probably 3 weeks ago, and he's like, you should probably post every day. And I was like, really? And he's like, yes. So I was like, okay. So now it's like once a day I post. I wasn't even posting every single day, because for me, that seemed like too much. And I think that's the other thing, where when you start brand new at something like this, you feel like, at least for me personally, I felt like you feel like you have to be perfect and you have to post, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Well, as a mom of 2 with the schedule, like that does sound a lot, and that does sound exhausting to me. So I had to really work with my mindset and just say, you know what? The effort that I'm putting in is good enough, and I need to trust the process. I didn't let that be an excuse, but I let that be that I'm showing up and I'm doing the best I can when I did show up and do the best that I can.
I love that.
Yeah.
Something you touched on just a second ago is you're on vacation.
Yeah.
There's this myth. I'm going to go through the challenge and then I'm going to be able to go sit on a beach in Tahiti and do nothing and magic, like money's just hitting the account.
Right.
Right?
That'd be amazing.
Right, but that's not realistic. It's more like you get to go on vacation and decide, you know what? I'm going to spend an hour in the hotel room and work on my business and then go to the pool.
Yeah.
Or that night I'm going to, be at the park with my kids and check on my campaigns. Or, that's where the freedom comes in. So it's not really work, but it is work.
Yeah.
There's something you still are going to need to do every day, but you get to.
I feel like it feels different too, because you get to decide when to do it. You get to decide, I don't know about how most families travel, but when we travel, when we're in a hotel, the two beds, they're all in the same room. So when my kids go to sleep, lights are out. Well, I'm not tired at 8:00, 9:00, whatever time it is. Like my husband and I are pretty night owls. And so I can sit on my laptop and, get some work done, or sit on my phone and, edit a video and have it ready to be posted the next day. So that way I'm not trying to edit and post at the same time and take up more time during the day, the next day, while we're doing fun things, walking around or something.
Yeah. It's freedom of choosing it. You just have to choose it.
Yeah.
I think that's such a huge hurdle. You just have to choose to actually take action and do it.
And I've heard that saying before too, where you just have to decide, and changing your life is one decision away, or you are one decision away from changing your life. And it really is true. I thought it was cheesy for the longest time. I'm like, you make a million decisions in your day, every single day.
Yeah.
But what about that one decision to go towards the things that you want? If somebody said, if you can plan out tomorrow to a T, you're living your past every single day. And for me, that stuck, because I was like, I don't want to live my past. Not that I had a terrible past by any means, but I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do for my kids. I know what I want to do for my grandkids that aren't even like a thought right now, and great grandkids. I know that I want to create that generational wealth. So if I'm living in the past of living the exact same day over and over and over, clearly I'm not choosing and making the decision to make a change that I really want to create. And I also believe that when you have any goal, anything in life that you want to do, I think you have that feeling inside of you because you're meant to have it. So for me, we all have these goals and dreams on our hearts because we should have them, because we were meant to have them. We can't just sit back and do nothing for them. I believe in inspired action, but you have to follow that inspired action. Once you have that thought or that idea, write it down so you don't forget, or act on it, or, make a voice memo to yourself so you remember to do it later. So.
Oh, I love that. If you think it's yours. It's meant for you. It's meant for you. You just got to go out and grab it. Just got to go grab it. Right.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. This has been such an amazing conversation. Now, I definitely want to follow up. You have to come back. I want to know how things are in the next couple months for you as you are building and growing your business. So if we don't reach out to you, reach out to us. Like, hey, I had this huge shift, a big moment happened, or even a little moment. You want to come back on? Yeah. I would love to always have you back on.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Be sure, everyone, to follow Andrea on TikTok at Andrea the Affiliate. So it's Andrea.the.affiliate. It was great having you on today. Even though we had some technical difficulties at the start. So much value you shared with our audience, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic Monday, and we will see you back here tomorrow with another guest and another amazing Wake Up Legendary. Take care.